They didn't even try to whisper. Two officers leaned against the wooden railing of courtroom 4B, smirking like they owned the place. One nudged the other and tilted his chin toward the woman sitting at the defendant's table. "You see her hair? What is that, a bird's nest or a crime scene?" His partner chuckled. "Nah, man. She probably got lost on the way to the welfare office. Now she's pretending to be a lawyer or something." She didn't flinch. The woman they were mocking sat with a calm that was almost unnerving. Her black tailored suit hugged her like a second skin. Her posture was flawless, composed, regal. But her eyes, those deep, stormy eyes, were locked on the judge with a quiet authority. She said nothing. Not yet. Judge Langston, an older white man with a half-hearted smile and heavy eyelids, glanced up. "Ms. Matthews, are you ready to begin?" She stood slowly, every motion deliberate. The room, save for the whispering cops, fell silent. "I am, Your Honor." The bailiff, Officer Denton, one of the two cops, snorted softly and rolled his eyes. She sounds like she watched too many courtroom dramas. The trial had begun as a routine theft case, a missing corporate laptop, a vague report, no physical evidence, just one anonymous tip that someone matching her description had been seen near the building. That was enough for the department to bring charges. Convenient. But from the moment she walked in, something felt off. Like this wasn't just a regular defense attorney playing her part, like she was playing everyone in the room. As she began to speak, her voice was low but firm, slicing through the courtroom like a razor. "Before we proceed with evidence, Your Honor, I'd like to motion for immediate dismissal on grounds of malicious prosecution and racial profiling." Gasps. Even Judge Langston blinked. "Ms. Matthews," he said cautiously, "that's a serious accusation." "Yes, and I have serious proof." She walked to her briefcase, pulled out a thick file, and placed it gently on the desk. "Inside this file," she said, "are over 30 documented complaints filed against Officer Denton and Officer Briggs, both of whom are present in this courtroom, for racially motivated misconduct. Internal Affairs closed them all, but I reopened them from a different desk." The murmurs rose again, this time sharper. She continued, "Additionally, I have video footage retrieved from traffic cams and building surveillance that directly contradicts the arrest report. The timestamp on the police log was falsified." The judge leaned forward. "Are you saying the officers perjured themselves?" She didn't blink. "Yes, and they did it in arrogance, assuming no one would ever question them." Denton's face flushed red. Briggs shifted uncomfortably. The prosecutor stood. "Objection, Your Honor. She's speculating and turning this into a personal crusade." Ms. Matthews finally turned to the prosecution and smiled, a small, sharp thing. "This isn't personal. This is institutional. But since you brought it up..." She walked to the center of the courtroom, standing in the shaft of light beaming through the stained glass window. "I'm not just the defendant's attorney. I'm also the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Internal Oversight Division. My name is Special Agent Alana Matthews. I have federal authority to investigate corruption within law enforcement, and this entire proceeding has been part of a deeper operation." Silence. So still, you could hear the ticking of the court clerk's pen. She turned to the judge. "Your Honor, if you check your email, you'll find a sealed warrant signed by a federal magistrate, authorizing the immediate seizure of Officer Denton's and Officer Briggs' service records and body cam footage." Judge Langston opened his laptop slowly, eyes darting. The courtroom erupted. The prosecutor stammered. This is entrapment." Matthews turned to him, now with fire in her tone. This is accountability." Officer Denton took a step back, but it was too late. 2 U.S. Marshals walked in through the side door. They didn't say a word, just approached the two officers and presented the documents. "Denton Briggs, you're under federal investigation. You'll come with us." Briggs raised his hands, stunned. "Wait, what the hell is happening? We didn't know." "That's exactly the point," Matthews said. "You thought I was just another black woman in a courtroom. You never asked who I was. You just assumed I didn't matter." And that was their downfall. Judge Langston looked like he'd aged 10 years in 10 minutes. "This trial is adjourned." But Matthews wasn't done. She approached the bench, lowered her voice, and said something that only the judge could hear. His face went pale. Then she turned and walked out, the heels of her shoes echoing like a war drum. The cameras never flashed. The papers wouldn't print her name. No interviews, no headlines. That was the way she liked it. Because true power doesn't shout. It whispers. And then it strikes. The door to courtroom 4B swung shut behind her, but the tremor she left behind rattled through every corner of the courthouse. Outside, the sky had turned a heavy steel gray, like it, too, knew what had just happened inside. Matthews walked down the marble steps without looking back. A black SUV waited at the curb. The driver, a stone-faced woman in sunglasses, opened the door silently. Matthews climbed in and exhaled slowly, the storm inside her finally starting to settle. She wasn't smiling. This wasn't a victory parade. It was an intervention, and it wasn't over yet. The fallout came like a controlled demolition. By morning, headlines exploded across the top floors of government buildings. Not tabloids, not public news. These were internal memos, classified briefings, and encrypted communiques. The charges against the innocent man Matthews had been defending were dropped before breakfast. He never even knew the full extent of who was fighting for him. He just knew that one day someone finally listened. But Denton and Briggs, their careers didn't just end. They imploded. Dozens of buried complaints were unearthed. Body cam footage, long thought erased, reappeared. A former informant came forward, revealing they'd been forced to fabricate statements. A judge who dismissed those cases under pressure was quietly placed under review. It was a clean sweep. But Matthews knew better than to believe in clean. Corruption doesn't live in just one city. It's a virus, shape-shifting, spreading, adapting. Back in her D.C. office, she reviewed the files of 27 other precincts flagged in the past month alone. Patterns, names, cover-ups, all of it carefully logged in a growing black dossier she kept under lock and biometric key. Her assistant knocked once. "Director Matthews, there's someone here to see you." "Who is it?" "A former police chief. Says he's ready to talk. He brought files." Matthews looked up slowly. "Tell him to wait in interview room B and record everything." The door clicked shut behind her as she moved down the hallway once again, not with vengeance, but with purpose. Her heels echoed like a countdown. She didn't do this for headlines. She did it for the ones who couldn't. For the kid who was told to step out of the car for matching a description. For the mother who buried her son because of an unfortunate misunderstanding. For every courtroom where silence screamed louder than truth. And especially for every officer who wore the badge with honor, because corruption made their lives harder too. Matthews wasn't hunting cops. She was hunting the rot. And it didn't matter if it was wrapped in a uniform, a robe, or a politician's handshake. Justice wasn't a slogan to her. It was a war. And she just fired the first shot. If you enjoyed this story and want more powerful, dramatic narratives just like it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment that will leave you speechless. Subscribe now. More unbelievable stories are coming soon.